We have a few versions of this gun. This one is around in great quantities. And then they made a steel frame version also, or a heavy frame version, I should say, also. Basically the same gun with a slight change in the cylinder stop, or as Colt calls it, the bolt. We have, courtesy of Colt Patent Firearms Company, a genuine Colt cutaway. So we can study how it works, and you notice that because it is a single action, it's a very simple action, in other words. And we can see here in the window the hand, and you can see the ratchet pad up there that the hand's heading for. You see it? Now it's made contact with it, starts to turn it. See, there's the hand spring right there. And of course the hand is there. We rotate the hammer, start to cock the hammer. The hand is attached to the hammer, and it rides in a slot in the frame. I'm going to take the hammer and hand out now. You do not have to take the hammer and hand out last, and of course this isn't last. If you need to work on the hand, you can take off the trigger guard and the back strap and undo this hand screw, the hammer screw, and lift them right out of the gun. Just drop them out the bottom. And the trigger and bolt will remain in place, and you can put it back in the same way. I just do this. I have a little cutaway, a little gadget here to help you to understand a little bit, perhaps. The trigger relationship, or trigger pull, if you will, must be what we call positive. Okay, they're all cocked. This is the negative one. Now the full cock notch of the hammer is negative. Watch what happens. Can you back that up a little bit? Yeah. Watch what happens when I pull the trigger very slowly. See the hammer creep forward before it falls. The next one is positive. Now the trigger is positive and the full cock notch is positive, and when you pull the trigger very carefully, the hammer cams back before it falls. And this is what we call a trigger job. It's positive, but doesn't have a whole lot of engagement. Now that trigger just barely moved, if you'll notice the movement on the three triggers. Now I've taken out the hammer of this gun. This is the Aldo Uberti, and it has what I think is the best passive safety for single action ever invented. Remember we talked about it earlier. Here's the part that hits the frame. The trigger goes into the safe notch right here. And watch what happens. You see? The hammer's been drilled. There's a hole down through it like this, and there's a rod in here.